All right, we're here with Yessi Rodriguez, and you have two films playing in the film festival, Complexity and Crazy Kind of Love. So why don't we start off with Complexity? Now, you also wrote that, correct?
I was co-writer, co-producer, and co-director of
Yeah.
Complexity. Yeah. In
Is that the
addition to
first time you
acting.
did all those jobs?
Yes, it was the first time I did all those jobs, especially all at once.
What about writing? Have you written before, though? Or,
Um,
or
that was the first time I've done a lot of writing, but that was the first time I've written a screenplay.
yeah. And then when you were writing it, did you write the part that you're in? Did you write that for you to play, or you kind of casted yourself later in it, or?
So the way that it worked out with Complexity was actually pretty interesting. I was actually cast because there was already like a base script,
Uh-huh.
and I started talking to the writer who was also cast and who was also, putting the whole thing together. Um, and we had a lot to talk about on the subject because it deals with colorism in the Latino community. And so we both experienced different sides of that conversation. So once we started talking, she started realizing that I had a lot of input on things that she hadn't thought about. And it became more of a dialogue. And then she asked me to help her write it because she wasn't completely satisfied with what she initially had. And so then we took some of her ideas and we sat together and we started like brainstorming through different ideas of how we could communicate the story in a different way that was more about both perspectives and having a dialogue from both sides. And so we both came up with some ideas together, and then we both went home and wrote our own versions of the scripts, and then we joined the scripts together.
Oh, wow. And when you were done, how long did it take to film it?
We actually filmed it all in one day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And because there was a couple locations. Yeah, so a long day, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long day, but we did film it all in one day.
And then, of course, you were also dealing with young actresses. How did it go about with that? Dealing with the youth on a film.
So I primarily took care of and directed the actress who was playing the younger version of me for two reasons. One, the actress we ended up casting in that role is actually my niece. And we cast her because, one, she's an actress. Two, there's a family resemblance. And three, it was easy to get her involved in the project because I already knew her. And then I ended up primarily directing her because, also from an acting point of view, I had already done all of the work for that character. And so I was able to provide her a lot more insight into what the character was going through and what the thought process was in writing the lines that she was saying as well. So having all of that background really helped me be able to help with her. And then the other young actress, Melissa, which is my co-everything, primarily directed her. And she was able to do the same thing with that same background of knowing where the story comes from, what the character's going through. She was able to really help her and direct her as well.
And so you got into some film festivals already. I've seen it at film festivals, and then all this happened. Did it play on any festivals that went online during this time at all, or
yes,
is this?
Yeah, it played during the Latino film market as well. And I believe we got into another one that went virtual too, and I'm just kind of drawing a blank on the name right now. It's been kind of crazy.
And then you have your other film, Crazy Kind of Love. How did you go about getting that role?
That role, actually, it was, I had been out of town for a little bit, and Larry and I are friends, the director. My friend. So we were talking about the fact that I was coming back into town and maybe doing a film together. And so he presented me with two different scripts. One was Crazy Kind of Love, which is a comedy, and the other was a drama where I was going to have to be sobbing the whole time. And I was like, I really don't feel like getting that emotional. Let's do something fun. Let's do something different. And so we went with Crazy Kind of Love. And I am a producer on that one as well. Which has been fun because I've been able to submit the project to different festivals and have a little bit more control in that aspect of like knowing that my work is getting out there and like being able to advocate for it as well, in addition to being an actor.
Yeah. Have you been writing at all or doing anything during all this time? Well, there's not much to do, so.
Yeah, I actually do have one script that I'm pretty much ready to film whenever I figure out how to do that at this point in time, whenever I get that sorted out. And then I'm also working on a project with a girl called Tori V. I don't know if you've met her, but we're starting to co-produce, co-write, co-direct a lot of projects together. And so she is primarily a writer. So she wrote this very big idea, and I'm one of her like collaborative writers. So I wrote a few scenes for the character that I'm going to be playing, and then I'm going to be directing a couple of different scenes with other actors as well. And then I did an international television series recently that I was assistant director on, as well as producer, as well as actor. And that right now we're trying to sell internationally. But then after that, we are planning on continuing and filming the next 6 episodes for that as well. And I have a couple of other things like on the writer's board that I haven't like fully gone into enough where I can really expand on them.
Yeah. So have you filmed anything at all during this at all? Were you able to get any filming in or any kind of project?
I'm actually filming next weekend and again in October.
Oh, great. So yeah, it's starting to open up a little bit. So
yeah,
some people are working and everything like that, but everyone's kind of prepared and ready in pre-production. So
yeah, it's a lot of like planning, because now we have to try to follow union regulations, obviously for everybody's safety.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like little things to account for. The project that I'm filming is it's a short, but it's about 30 minutes long. It might actually end up being an episodic thing because it is a story that continues. But that project in particular, we're filming 3 or 4 different weekends, and every weekend that we come on set, we need to be tested right before. So that's a whole interesting thing to have to navigate as well.
Yeah, because it's hard with the rapid testing. I don't know if they're even able to do it, or it's really having a tough time getting that done.
I feel like it's kind of hit or miss. It depends on the location.
Yeah. No. Oh well. So then usually we promote on this program. So do you have any websites that we could see any of your work, or you want to promote anything that is out there that people can see?
So right now I am not using my website. I had been using it for a bit, but primarily I'm using my social media to promote myself and my projects and to communicate with people. I find that it's a bit more of a personal approach where people can build a relationship with you as an actor, as a filmmaker, and have more of a dialogue. So for my social media, on Instagram, I'm official Yessie Rodriguez. Yessie Rodriguez as it's written here, and official spelled regularly in English. And then I have a Facebook page as well where people can follow me, although I do use my Instagram a lot more than my Facebook page. But my Facebook page is Yessie Rodriguez as well. And I do post updates. And hopefully once we stop being virtual, I do post about film festivals, events, fashion shows, other things that I do. So that way people can come out, support, interact.
Yeah.
Mingle.
Well, I wish we were live, at an event so we could, hang out as we usually do at these things in Asbury Park. But
I know, I was so sad. I was really looking forward to going to Asbury, but things happen.
Well, thanks for coming on for a few minutes here, and I'll try to get this out as soon as possible.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, and nice to catch up with you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a while.
Yeah, hopefully see you soon. Okay, we're here with Rachel Navarro, and you did the film Our Sense of Humor. Can you tell me a little bit about how did you get this idea?
Sure. So a few years ago, I was in this sketch comedy called, oh my gosh, it was like a New York sketch comedy show, and we were talking with the whole cast like spitballing like ideas and stuff. And this girl was telling a story about, I believe she's from the Ukraine. And she was just saying how her and her friends will, in public, to make other people uncomfortable, they'll start kind of just like joking with each other, but in this very like personal, almost disturbing way, just, saying dirty details and stuff. And she was just laughing the whole time, saying, yeah, like, we do it at parties, and people are like, why are they saying this in public? And it gave me an idea, which was the whole point of that conversation. So I came up with an idea of a family that has this kind of really sick, extreme sense of humor. And that's how I wrote the sketch.
Oh, great. And how did you go about casting for it?
At the time, my brother was really into acting. He really wanted to do it. So I cast him because he's good. He's confident in front of the camera. And then my friend Lena, who I also met in this sketch show, she's a fine actress. So I put her. And then the other actor I found through Facebook, actually. We like, when you have each other on Facebook, but like you don't really know each other.
Yeah.
And he played the role of the husband, and he did great. And then I asked my friend if I could shoot in his house, and he let me, and it all came together. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's great. And now I've seen this before at other fests. So you got to see, before all this happened, you got to see this in like festivals and be there live, right? Yeah,
I think I've seen it in like one or two festivals, which is really cool.
And then all of a sudden, this all happened and everything, and we tried to hold off as long as we could, and now we just had to go online because we were supposed to be in April, and now we're September, so we'll just be screening them online on our webpage on Saturday all day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be
there's so many online festivals, like there have been even before this happened, that I get it. Like, it's still really, really cool.
We just like being there, like especially in Asbury Park. So we were a little upset, but it is what it is. But we'll still have fun. We're gonna show the films and then have like a award show party inside the studio. So that will be streaming for everyone to watch and everything. So it'll be a lot of fun. Were you able to, during all this time, were you writing anything new, or maybe able to film something?
I've been doing a lot of Zoom plays, which it's cool. It's different. I bought a green screen and everything. It's the new, normal.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that, but mainly I've been composing and making music, actually. So my writing has just been mostly songwriting, and I still write. I write poetry. Not too much anything for the screen.
Oh, and did you have anything out? How many? This wasn't your first one. You had a few other shorts before this, right?
Yeah, we did. I did Harmony with Elroy.
Yeah.
He's kind of famous around here. We did Harmony, which was great. I got to direct that too, and I don't know. I think I put a couple of my music videos into a couple of festivals.
Yeah.
But I think it was just those two, right? I think so. I don't know.
So. But are you used to doing comedy or the drama? What do you prefer?
What I prefer. I prefer the challenge of writing comedy. Drama is great. I don't want to say writing is never easy, but comedy is a little more, okay, it's funny to me. If I make someone die in a movie, that's dramatic, that's sad, everyone's going to react to that. But if I write a joke, how many people are actually going to find it funny?
Yeah, I like in the theaters, and you see where people laugh in different festivals. They laugh at different parts, and you're like, that's the only experience. But at least now we're, a lot more people can see it because we're going to be streaming. So a lot more people, they don't have to pay to just watch it. So.
Right. No more crowded rooms, which is cool to have a crowded room because so many people want to see it. But
that's true, right?
Yeah.
But so do you have anything else coming up at all, or are you going to film anything soon? Because I guess it's starting to come around.
Yes, it is. Well, in I think January, my friend who I met doing background work, he knows that I'm a writer, so he actually asked me to write a script for him, which was supposed to start off as a shorter script, but it's approaching feature length. Feature length. It's about, it's 45 pages now, which is kind of the cutoff for a short film. But now I have this story that I want to flesh out even more. It's dramedy. So again, it's like the drama and then the challenge of drama and comedy. So yeah, and the working title right now is called Last Looks.
No.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to promote? Do you have any websites or where people could see like some old stuff that you have?
Awesome. Yeah. So my YouTube page, I don't know the URL, but if you search my full name, Rachel Navarro, I also post my music there, and my artist name is Leave a Scar, like leave a scar on my body. And it's one word. It's one word. So if you were to search either of those names, you could probably find my YouTube. I have a website also. It's leaveascar.info. And then all my social media is Leave a Scar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, yeah, thanks for giving us a few minutes here. And, we're going to try to get this up before all the films. So there's a lot of putting together. So I'm interviewing rapid fire today.
No, you got this. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So thanks for joining us, and we'll hope to see you soon. So, okay, so we're here with Margaret Spirito. Is that how you say your name?
Yep, Spirit with an O. You got it.
and you did the film Jersey?
Yes, I wrote and I executive produced it.
Oh. So how did you come up with this? Obviously, I guess from the area originally, right?
I am born and bred Jersey girl, and the short is about basically the very tense relationship that can evolve between a mother and a daughter, especially an Italian Jersey mother and a daughter, and how the daughter can do no right and the son can do no wrong, and just about how there's family you love, family you hate, and then there's your mother. And it's a really common, no matter what ethnicity you are, no matter, where you're from, I think every mother and daughter can relate to that. And, it's kind of like the millennial versus the baby boomer. Mm-hmm. You head to head, the baby boomer, it has one way of thinking, the millennial has another, and on top of it they have this complicated mother-daughter relationship. So that's where I used all the women in my life to kind of base that character off of, and I found an amazing actress, Lisa Ann Walter, to play it, and she also executive produced with me as well and directed it. Oh, wow. So I was very lucky I found someone that talented.
I lost you there, froze.
To love my script
for a second there.
Be a part of the film.
I lost you there for a second.
No worries.
At the end.
Okay, so I was just saying I'm so lucky that I had someone that talented who really, she really identified with my script, and she's an East Coast broad, so you can only it's very hard, by the way, to find people to play Jersey out in LA because they think know what it's like, but unless you're from there, you really don't know.
No, I was out in San Diego, and I go there every so often, and people always say, "Oh, I'm from Jersey." I'm like, "No, you're not. You don't act like you're from New Jersey."
Yeah, so it's just actually the short takes place in Los Angeles, but they're from Jersey. Like everyone in it's from Jersey, and like all the characters. So yeah, so it just was it's I think a super relatable flick that has a serious undertone, but it's funny. It's a comedy. So that, it was a great experience, a hard experience, but a great experience in making it.
And how long have you been doing this?
Well, I was a musical theater actress for a long time. I sang and danced and did tours, and I moved out here 10 years ago with my husband. hoping to do a little bit more TV and film. As an actress, that didn't really transfer over that well. I was still doing more live stuff, live theater.
Yeah.
But I really always wanted to write. I really have always had a passion for writing. And a couple of years ago, I kind of just made the decision, like, I'm not going to audition for a while and I'm just going to really hone in. And I love television. I really would love to be like a staff writer on a television show, you know, when we're through COVID and we know what's going on in the entertainment industry. That's kind of been my goal. And the short was actually I've written a ton of specs and a ton of pilots, but this short was the very first thing I ever wrote.
Oh.
And it's had a lot of revisions, but it was my first go at producing, which was a lot. And I have so much respect, and it's not something I really want to do, too often, but it was a big experience and a huge learning experience. And I'm glad I did it. It was super stressful, but looking back, I mean, it's pretty cool that like I was able to do that, and with a lot of help and a lot of guidance from other people who knew way more about what the process was supposed to be like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How'd you go about the other casting, the other roles there?
So Lisa was on board first. She was like, she did the reading for me. I did a reading of the script, and after it was over, and I barely knew her. I met her once at a party, and I was very lucky that she wanted to do it, and then she really liked it. And from there, we brought on Valerie Tossi, who is she auditioned for the role, but she actually knew Lisa through other people. But she's a comedian. She was on Conan a couple months ago, like right before the COVID craziness. She was on Conan, and she's a stand-up comedian, a brilliant actress. And then Vinny Fasline, who plays the brother, he's the only male in our cast. He was a good friend of Lisa's, and she's like, I got the perfect guy to play like that East Coast kind of annoying douchey brother. And then Mayan Lopez, Lisa has been friends with her father for years. Her father's George Lopez, and Mayan's, she's a really talented actress and improv comedian as well. So we brought her on to play the best friend, and it just really rounded out so perfectly. Like Lisa and Valerie were so good together as mother and daughter. It was it was really amazing that I was able to get all these amazing comics to bring my script to life. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, were you able to see it in festivals before all this happened? Was it out in some where you could go and see it?
One festival. We got into the very first festival we got into was the Los Angeles International Women's Film Festival, and it aired in January. So we got it screened in January. So we got really lucky, because then it was like, and I was so bummed too, because I was so happy to get into your festival because it was in New Jersey and everyone could come see it. And then it was just it's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
But, I'll get over it. Like, it's cool. I'm so happy to just you guys are still doing the festival, and because some people canceled them altogether, and it's just, I'm very thankful that you guys are doing it and that people can still see it.
Yeah. Well, at least a lot more people can watch it on Saturday. So we'll have the streams going, and it'll be a lot of fun. We have 3 streams going with movies all day, and then we'll have our award show at night.
Super excited.
Lost you again. It's freezing up a little bit. I guess it's
click on the link, right? Like the link. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Is it?
I can hear you better than It starts freezing a little bit, but we're far away, so.
Yeah,
it's coming a little better now. Yeah, they could just click on the link. We'll have the links up there. It'll be stream 1, 2, 3.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, we're really excited. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to see the other films. My mom has one of her friends made and is starring in one of the other films you guys are screening. So I forget which one. I don't know them. She knows them, but yeah, super. We're very proud. I'm very happy to be screening in a Jersey Film Festival. That makes me really happy, and we hope to represent Jersey too.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were cracking up. A bunch of us. I know we were watching the film. I was watching it with a few people. We were all cracking up. So. we're all Jersey people, and it just it hit home. We're like, oh yeah, pretty funny stuff. But yeah, well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes here. And
no, thank you for having me. I appreciate you. I know I might be the annoying one asking
you're freezing again.
Questions and email. It's just because I like to have my ducks in a row. I want to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to Saturday. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much.
Bye, Chris.
See ya. All right. We're here with Kimberly DePersia, and you did the film Junie and Frank. And how did you come up with the idea for this one?
So this is a very personal film for me. I grew up watching my grandfather perform in community theater, and that was kind of how I kind of got the acting bug and started acting because I got inspired. And of course life passes, and we get busy and life goes on. And I realized that I never acted in anything with my grandfather. So I decided to change it, and I wrote this film. And so it's myself and my grandfather, Frank C. Hills. So he plays Frank, I play Junie, and we're grandfather.
So it was that was your grandfather?
So that was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the idea I got was that for the film is that I don't know about you, but I have a lot of personal instances where, family or friends don't really necessarily come to visit until there's some major life event, usually of the negative type. So I wrote this kind of as a message to inspire people to reach out to everyone and, their loved ones, and be present in other people's lives, except, outside of emergencies, to spend time with our loved ones, because we never know how long they have in this world. So
yeah, my grandfather had I watched him as a kid perform in community theater growing up, and we never really acted together, even though he was the person that inspired me to start acting in the first place. And so he's getting older, when he's in his 80s, so I figured why not create something that we can act in together, and then we have for all time sake. And the idea spun out of how a lot of times we don't reach out necessarily to family or loved ones until there's an emergency or a crisis, and how to actually appreciate and spend time with all of us while we're still here and able to, because we never know what the future holds. And I think especially that's extremely relevant this year, dealing with everything with COVID, of people losing lives and not being able to travel to see people. So, we all have to take advantage of the moments when we can.
Yeah.
We shot the film down in Florida, because that's my home state, and that's where my grandfather lives. So it just kind of made sense to go down and bring this shoot to him. So we went and we filmed down in a few different locations in Florida. My grandfather's house, which is in Wildwood, Florida. It's about an hour north of Orlando. And then we filmed the rest of the film in Cocoa Beach. So it was just really, really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And were you able to see it at festivals as well before all this happened? Was it out in time to be able to see it, or?
No, we had really bad timing, because I started submitting to festivals in January, so so it was kind of like so we kind of got unfortunately just a really bad year for festivals. I'm so excited to be a part of this. This is great. So it's life. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
When you look at all this stuff that's even like the big budget mainstream stuff, they're having issues with their releases, and
absolutely, it's crazy.
Yeah, we're all affected as the industry, small and large.
But yeah, at least the only good thing about it is we can still have a lot of people watch it. So
yeah, exactly. And I think there's a value to online festivals. I think that I think we'll see this maybe for years to come, like a new trend, and more of a live component that's streaming in addition to in person, because I think you can bring in more people. For instance, my cast and crew is all over the place. We're in Florida, we're in New York, so it's like we're not all going to be able to make it to a particular screening, but
this way someone can attend it virtually as well. So it's nice.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And so have you been writing anything or since all this is happening, or kind of creating anything?
Yeah, so I'm part of a sketch group. We're called the Egos, and we do every summer. We've done sketches for the past like 5 years. We're in our 6th season. We split up one season and we split up a summer into 2 seasons, but we kind of made the decision to go ahead forward with it, with everything. We shoot in New York City, and we're normally about pop culture stuff. So we figured, do we want to dive into dealing with pop culture this summer? There's just so much heavy topics.
Yeah.
So we decided to go for it. We film outside in Central Park. We have masks. We do temperature checks. We don't take the masks off unless, we just did a bit in the last episode where I took my mask off, but I was separated from the crew and, from the cast. So I'm really glad we have done it, because it's just nice to be able to creatively express what's going on in the world and kind of document it. And it's just nice to be creating and, just kind of experimenting and continuing to make stuff. I personally need that in my life. It feeds my soul. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, you seem to do a lot, because I've seen you past stuff and part of different films in the past and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I originally started creating my own work because I guess it was something that they recommended actors to do. Like create acting. You'll get stuff for your reel. Maybe you'll get an agent or manager. And I just kind of really fell in love with the process of creating, and especially as a writer. I mean, I had written stories as a kid, but I never really flexed my writing skills as an adult until, about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I really started developing my writing skills, and I love it. I love being able to like imagine something and then there it is, the movie magic. So what started as kind of like a selfish personal goal of like creating more content for myself, developed into being able to express myself more, and it's exciting. It's being able to like cast people, work with people that I know, make new stories. It's great.
When you work with the group, you kind of the same cast, you rotate positions and things like that?
It's building a collaborative mix of people. So for instance, the director of Junie and Frank, Matt Van Borst, I've worked with him in a lot of things. We made short films together and web series together. So, it's kind of like, once you find people that you vibe with, you want to keep creating. The industry is hard enough. Why don't you have people that, are on your team that you kind of know how they work? You can kind of communicate your ideas and know it's going to be translated in a certain way, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's like that last interview. The whole crew, they're just constantly working with each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great to find like-minded people, and we all take risks creatively. A lot of times, if I write something, I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go, or people are gonna like it, and you want to have a team behind you that's just as excited to make it as it was for you to write it. So
yeah. And do you have anything you want to promote? Do you have any websites or any place where people can see some of your stuff or past stuff?
Yeah, so you can definitely check out the Egos. We're on Amazon Prime and YouTube. We have an Instagram page at Egos Season 6. I have my own YouTube channel. I've started doing movie reviews. So, for instance, I braved the theater in Connecticut. I drove out to Connecticut to see Tenet. So
you did, no?
That, like, mask, everything.
Wow.
So you can check out my YouTube. It's my name, Kimberly DePersia. I'm the only one with my name in the world, except for some random other woman. I don't know. So if you just Google me, all my stuff will come up. I'm very simple to find.
Great. Well, thanks for coming on for a few minutes here, and
so this is a follow-up to one that we had done before in your festival, My Hero, and it's the same characters, Laura Peterson playing Patricia, and myself playing Todd, but this one we've managed to sort of expand the universe. So we introduce Linda and Gary, who are played by Miranda Stevens and Rob Brock. And so we're kind of expanding the world, but keeping kind of this stuff all the same. And it's light and it's fun, and I think we could all kind of use a laugh right now. And of course, my man Zach. None of this happens without Zach. And in the next one, we actually get him. We give him a little part. So he's
got it. Yeah. Did you filmed another one?
We have another one in the can. Yeah, Corona sort of screwed us all up, like a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. But we just, Zach, we just finished. Got kind of a final cut and locked that down now.
Yeah,
there's no script ready to go. So the plan is to make this into a series and kind of turn it into an expanding and an ongoing series.
Oh, is it the same characters?
Same characters. Same characters like you were mentioning comic books before. Kind of like, not that this would be a horrible comic book, but the same universe. So it's like things that there's a lot of inside baseball. So if you are familiar with My Hero, you'll hopefully find some kind of funny stuff in Oh Boy, and then the next one. So we try to do a lot of stuff like that and keep it all kind of real.
Got a couple Easter eggs stuck in there.
Exactly. It's a theme we're sort of rolling with, so we'll see. It's fun.
How did it go shooting this one?
It went well. I'm lucky enough that we are able to shoot in the same locations, more or less for some of the scenes. So that helps. I'm like, hey, I know what I can do. I know how I'm gonna light that and set that up, and a bunch of the camera angles, and might do different things in the different films. But there's a nice familiarity, whatever, with the space, and then working with Lauren and Laura. It's all nice and easy, and there's not a ton of stress, which helps. The less stress, the better, especially because this one we have a little one. We have a kid in this one too. So when everything else can go smoothly, you have a little room for something to go wrong. Should it happen? Not saying it did, but.
Well, not only do we have a kid, we have a very special kid by the name of Milo Bonsignor, who our co-star who just joined us, it looks like Laura, is very, very intimate with. It's her boy, who is just fantastic to work with, and he'll pop up down the road too. I have a feeling.
Yeah. So you got.
Hence the Lego world. I have.
Oh, there it is. Laura. So you've worked with your son a couple times now, then, right?
Yes, it's been fun. It's easy to beat them into submission when they're your own. No, it's been fun. I know that it's been a little stressful at times because I have the mother quality of like, ooh, you want to put your little one first, but at the same time you want to be present with your character. And I don't play his mom in the show, and he's so little, especially with this one, he was so little that he didn't quite. Like when I'm handing him off to his mom and I'm like saying goodbye, you could almost see his tears swelling in his eye. I was just like, it's okay. Like there was a moment of me having to really just be like, we have to get this shot. Trust mommy that she's going to not really give you away right at this moment.
Yeah.
And he came through. He did it.
He was fantastic. He really was. Listen, I wouldn't have used him again and plan on using him in the future if he was a little nightmare. So.
Yeah.
Good on him. It's we're lucky to have him. We're lucky to have Laura too, because I don't want to be the bad guy in situations like that.
Yeah.
So how is making this one different from the last few that you've done together?
This was the first time we were sort of continuing a character arc. Mm-hmm. So that was I thought that was particularly enjoyable. And working with Zach and working with Laura, Zach was mentioning, it's very, very comfortable. So that is a huge help, and I trust them both implicitly. And the other three actors, Rob, Miranda, and of course Milo, I know them too on a personal level. I've worked with them before. Here comes Miranda.
Yeah.
So who plays the Linda character? So it was different because we're sort of growing. It's like the universe is expanding, and it's all very clear in here. And I'm trying to make sure it translates to the audience. But everybody really seems to know their characters, and they make my life very, very easy.
Oh, we lost Laura.
I show up drunk, so I need all the help I can get.
So I guess we'll talk to the cast.
Robbie too.
Yeah. And you too. Well, you're in the cast too.
It's just me who's not.
I know, right? Just this time. But you say you coming back for the next one?
Yeah, and the next one.
So what about how did the rest of the cast here? What did you think of the characters and working with them in this one?
Miranda, I don't see Panda, by the way, so I'm very disappointed in you. But,
It's right there. Sorry, what was the question? Oh, it was awesome. And yeah, like Lauren said, we know each other on a sort of personal level. And so it was just, I remember the set being a lot of fun. I mean, there was some work, but I mean, we just all like enjoy each other's company. And so it's kind of the best of both worlds, work and play.
What about you, Rob?
Well, this is a different experience because when I knew Loring before, we used to go antiquing mostly. We very briefly we did that for a bunch of years, and then we tried to buy Pepperidge Farms. That was kind of our second business venture together, which didn't work out. And then a haberdashery thing. So then we got into the acting after that. So I was pretty comfortable with him, after that.
Well, you've worked with them before in other ones as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an indentured servitude kind of thing. I'm slowly paying it off.
But
got a long ways to go there, Robbie.
So how was your characters from this one to the next one that's coming out soon? Are they kind of the same, or you expanded your character a little bit?
I think so. Yeah, I think they kind of grow a lot, and we've made them a little bit weirder, and the relationships are a little bit deeper. And Lauren did a nice job of expanding on what was previously done, and then making it odder from there.
I feel like Rob, you just get your character just gets worse and worse and worse.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why I'm with you.
The next script, I think it's going to be really good.
So are you gonna, Lauren? And are you working on the follow up after that one?
Yeah, I was able. I basically drank and ate my way through the first half of this pandemic, and then I said I gotta cool it. So I actually sat down and I wrote the follow up script. So we have a complete script, but getting everybody together is really challenging. Miranda's in North Carolina.
Oh.
No one ever knows where Rob is on a given day.
Including Rob.
Another character. I named Erica Woods. She's in New Orleans. So if I can get everybody back, I'm dying to shoot it. But we're going to kind of have to see how that's going to play out. But we're good. We're ready to go for another one. So we got at least 2 more. We have 1 in the can and 1 script ready to shoot.
Now, I know you had this film in some festivals before all this happened. Were you in any online festivals or festivals that had to go online so far?
No.
Not with Oh Boy, I think.
Not with Oh Boy. Zach has a film which was online. It's all very new. It's really a new experience. It's cool.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the technical headaches and stuff that you got to go through to kind of to pull it off. But it looks like you're doing a good job, so that's good on you. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the way things are now. I'm anxious to get back. I mean, going down to Asbury Park, Chris, that's one of my favorite. It's a highlight for the year. So hopefully, if you guys like the next one, maybe I'll see you guys down there. But I think we're stuck in this virtual bubble right now.
Yeah.
Oh, in it together.
Well, we're going to be playing these all day Saturday, and then 9:00 Saturday. Well, we're hoping 9:00 around that time. We'll live stream the awards show from the Shared Universe studio.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be there online. I will not be stalking you outside the studio, so don't worry. But I'll be there. To watch.
I think some people were planning on showing up and just hanging out. We'll see.
Do not reward that behavior, Chris.
I've been told this before.
Rob, stay home.
You'll be told it again.
Well, thanks for coming on, guys. But it's a quick interview. I got to move on to the next.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
On behalf of the cast, we're very thrilled to be here. We're thrilled about the nominations and all that stuff too. So thank you very much, and we'll look forward to Saturday.
All right. Yeah, definitely.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming on. See you.
See you guys.
Bye.
We're here with Jim Ford, and we have your film. We Have Your Wife. That's the right title, right? We Have Your Wife.
Yep, We Have Your Wife.
And I've seen it numerous times at festivals. So I was going to ask, have you been able, like most people, I'm like, have you been able to see your film in a festival or this happen? And I saw your film in the festival, so.
Yeah, this is kind of getting towards the end of the run because it's been out for a couple of years or a year and a half. So it had some screenings before this whole madness happened. So I screened it a couple places in Jersey, and then I actually went out to LA with it for the Los Angeles Short Film Festival and the Marina Del Rey Film Festival.
Oh,
so that was
wow.
really nice. Yeah, because I like the small, intimate, kind of theaters, but one of the ones out in LA was a real modern, Cineplex thing, and it's neat to kind of hear the sound and the sound mix and all that on a real big screen. Yeah, the big turnout for that, and so that was nice. And thankfully, not too many women wanted to punch me afterwards. They seemed to pretty receptive of it. So yeah, it was a good screening.
Yeah, that's a good. So was that last summer when we were out there in LA for that?
Yeah, last summer. Yeah. It screened at a couple in California and Florida, but sometimes, as the festival approaches, work comes up and you can't always make them all. So it was nice that the schedule lined up and I could get out there for that. Yeah.
I wanted to go this year. My students got into Dances with Films, and it was playing in the Chinese theater. And of course, we can't go because it was online.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was like a dream. I got student films of my students from high school playing in the Chinese theater. So I'm like, we can't wait. Let's go. And yeah, you can't go.
CLC, yeah. I've heard there's a couple festivals screening there now. Yeah, I'd love to get out there next year. That'd be a dream to just, be inside those walls. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So
maybe next year.
That's a future goal for me. So for my students anyway, to get that going. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, right.
How'd you come up with this idea for this film?
Yeah, this is funny because we made a lot of comedies before, and this is a little darker than most. Yeah. And the interesting thing was how the idea happened. It was like a little mouse of an idea. And we were sitting around because I worked full time as an actor and a stuntman, and I'm sure you've done some acting, on some of these sets. You're sitting around for a long time, just shooting the breeze. And we were chatting, and the statistic came up. I had no idea that the divorce rate is like 50%.
Wow.
And if someone gets divorced and they remarry, it's like 60% that'll happen again. So
wow.
We were just talking about that, and I know it's a little dark humor, but the idea was if someone's wife was actually kidnapped, there's like a 50-50 chance that the guy might be like, "You mean I'm out of it? Like, I don't have to pay the legal fees? I mean, a divorce can cost 40-50 grand. Maybe the guy go, keep it." And we're just howling at it. Yeah. And I just started playing around, and it kind of wrote itself. And, the thing, too, I wanted to mention was, it's actually been screening really well. And I'm really thankful some of the festivals get the humor for what it is and the audiences, because, we're really getting to a time when stuff is getting a little too some people are getting a little too sensitive, and it really wasn't a jab at women or even relationships. Kind of the heart of the film that kind of kept us through it was just simply seeing criminal struggle.
Yeah.
That like Home Alone, that's what it was. And it was just kind of that initial moment, but then afterwards it was about, the criminals not getting their way. And then there's kind of a moment where they almost, feel when they start talking about the hand job. I don't know if I could say that. But okay. You know, when the guy goes, "Oh man, wow, that's pretty rough," and then they kind of feel for the guy and almost develop a sort of friendship. Like you almost see, "Hey man, we should get a beer sometime." Man, that is pretty rough, So that's kind of where the idea came from. Yeah.
And what about the actors? Are they used to comedy? Those actors there? Do they do comedy stuff, or is it just they just act and whatever? Or were they more?
Some of that. And it's interesting because when it came to the casting, it was a little tricky. I've worked with some of those guys before, and I figured, I could get them to where they needed to be. They're wearing masks and all this, and we tried to just kind of play it straight for the most part. But one thing that was interesting was the girl was casting the female. We had put out some ads and put out some casting, and everyone thought the idea was hysterical. And I don't know if when they read the script, they were just thinking, I'm going to be tied to a chair in a basement with a bunch of guys around. And we just kind of got ghosted by a couple. We had these models, and we had all looking for, some stuff. And we had some actors. And I really wanted to film it in Massachusetts, even though I'm from New York, because that was my dad's basement. And I don't know, we did almost zero set design.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, he was a firefighter. He had all this rope and he had tarp. I'm like, Dad, what do you do with plastic tarp? Like, you look like a hero sword. But all the stuff was there. I was like, I have to film it. And so it was either do I find a local actress in Boston or do we travel someone from New York? And thankfully that I found that actress. She's in Providence, Laura. She was willing to drive an hour and a half. And the only challenge was we had to drive several times. So it was me driving from New York about 3 times.
Oh, really? Oh.
Film it and her twice, once for the rehearsal and once for there. But we really wanted the location. But,
yeah.
I think the casting worked out, and I thought she did a good job for such a quick. Because we had to have the wife. At one point, we weren't going to have one, but we really just needed to, oh yeah, that's her. Oh God, yeah.
And her reactions and everything, it works out. It worked really well with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Good decision. Yep. Okay. No, keep her, please.
So you, what do you prefer doing? I mean, you're all over you do everything pretty much. But do you enjoy the comedies more than dramas and things like that, or?
Because I'm as an actor and a stuntman. I don't always try to make comedies. It just kind of happens, the genre. I actually really like, my favorite if I could do an action comedy.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, sometimes as a stuntman, I work on these enormous, 100 million budget, action movies. And it can be really challenging for an independent filmmaker to kind of get these sequences in a short film. So sometimes when I can do an action comedy, that may be my favorite, just because I feel like it's a little more rare because it can be hard to facilitate it. And so every now and then I can pull in a favor and ask some guys I work with if I pitch them an idea enough and say, "Can you come do my short film? I know you get paid $1 million, but could you really just do this for a good time? I promise we'll go to some film festivals and have a beer." And so that's what we've done in the past, and hopefully we can get some another action short going next summer. Yeah.
Have you been writing during all this, or were you able to do any acting during this at all, or any filming or anything?
Yeah, it's actually funny. When we finished the short film right as it stopped, which was this kind of cute little short film about these strangers that meet in a faraway land, and they realize they're from the same town, and it was really short and sweet, and we just had a ton of time to edit it. But there's been, which is even more interesting, I think, was we filmed something during this, and it's something I've always wanted to do, was film something on a boat.
Oh.
And so I bought a boat on impulse a while ago, and it's like a wakeboarding boat. And ever since I bought it, I've always wanted to just film something on the open water, just because the location is so unique. Yeah. And the blessing in disguise was everyone was available.
Oh,
I called, I put out these little feelers to, my favorite cinematographer. I had a drone operator. I had a water safety guy. I had the scuba people. Everyone was literally just like, I'm sitting at home in my apartment. Like, yes. Wow. And then, you probably know too, from making films, sometimes it's easier to get people's availability on a weekend, because maybe they have a side job, maybe they have something. But in order to do this, we needed no boat traffic. We needed it to be a completely kind of, empty scene. Yeah. So that would require like a Tuesday or Wednesday. And usually people are working or they're auditioning, and it's hard to get them. Well, what ended up happening was they were all available, and then the weather pushed it, and everyone was available again. And then we're like, well, what if we need you for one more day? And they're like, yeah. So it just was like a very stress-free sort of like, if something happened, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to lose this actor or something. It was kind of like, we'll just get it tomorrow. And we ended up having a lot of fun. We were just out on the water, the open water, for 2 straight days filming.
Wow.
And so we just finished editing that. So that, probably in the next month or so, I'll start submitting that. And I think, you'll like. I think a lot of people like it because just visually, it's an interesting piece, unique piece. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Have you been doing any stunt work at all yet, or is not yet?
Yeah, that's been down because a lot of the big TV shows have been down. But I've been doing stunts consistently on this TV show FBI. And so I was working on that right up to it, doing some driving, doing a bunch of fight scenes. and all that. So now stuff is slowly starting to come back. So I'm getting some bites. So probably the next week or so, or by the end of the month, we should be back at that. But I think, I think a lot of the movies will probably come back to Atlanta or Louisiana or some lower places. I think it's gonna be hard to ensure some big movies in New York. But I think they'll try and squeeze some of the TV shows back in. So.
No, I heard. I was talking to somebody, and they're in Atlanta. They said, I think they said today, all the TV shows start filming today down there.
Yeah, I think they're coming back. That's what I heard probably this week. Yeah, so that's good that stuff's coming back. But it's crazy too that LA, there's just nothing.
Nothing,
like
right?
Hollywood, all of Los Angeles, they're one industry. They're big industry, just nothing. Yeah.
I heard. Yeah, I was talking to someone last night. They said nothing going on there, so they went to Vancouver.
Oh, right. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I've been up to Vancouver, but I didn't know they were filming stuff up there.
Yeah, wow. I was talking to someone. They were filming a Christmas movie up there right now, and then someone else went up there too. And I think Ben Affleck's doing a movie up there. He moved everything up there.
Oh, really? Oh, that's really cool. Up
so
there, yeah,
it's gonna get crowded up there, and then everyone's gonna get
right. Everyone's gonna go down there next. Yeah. But no, that's interesting, and I think they're getting some commercials are coming in too, because they can just have kind of a bare bones crew, and I see those coming up. But it's coming back. So pretty nice.
Do you have anything you want to promote out there? You got any websites or any of your past stuff that people can watch?
Well, maybe I was wondering if I could promote this real quick. I got I actually just published a book.
Oh wow!
Time. It's called My Take on All 50 States. And it's available everywhere, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all that.
Oh, wow.
And, what's nice about the book is it talks not just about, being an actor or stuntman or filmmaker, but how a lot of people don't realize this. They think, oh, you're an actor, you're just in New York or LA. But when stuff started, I started doing this about 15 years ago, I was filming in a multitude of different states, with the tax incentives. And so I worked and have traveled to all 50 states within a short amount of time.
Wow.
Mainly because of, so it's not just, I worked with these cool people I worked with. It's more like, hey, I was in this obscure part of Puerto Rico, or, I was outside of Shreveport, Louisiana, or New Mexico. And so it's kind of, the films, but also the location. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So it just came out. That's good timing. Yeah, thanks for the shout out on that.
That's pretty cool. That's one thing I always wanted to do, is like hit all the states up. I haven't been to too many, if I think about it.
That's what was interesting. There was one time, because now the tax incentives are so big that there's groups of locals. There's pockets of locals, like getting a second house in Atlanta or getting a second house in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But 12 years ago, I was just on a plane constantly. I was just traveling all the time. I think there was one time I worked in 14 states in 1 year.
Wow.
And, 12 the next year or something. So then it got really interesting when I only had like 5 or 6 more states to go.
Yeah.
And then I just randomly, like, my wife was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to Little Rock, Arkansas. Why? I got 5 more states. I got to check this off. So that's really, everyone goes to Miami or everyone goes to Vegas. But I think what's most interesting is like the Montanas, the South Dakotas, just the less traveled ones. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Something I always wanted to do. So it's there. My excuse was in the past is every summer go see the Mets play in a different park in the country. That was.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
check out the stadiums. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my excuse to go to certain places.
Right. Hey, this would be a good time to do a road trip, though, huh? Now.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Just and then I got school starting now, so that's going to be like I had my summer. And it was kind of just here doing this, talking to people online.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's great. No, I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you having me on. I was going to ask, what have you heard on your end for theaters opening in New Jersey? No dates yet?
I think some have opened. I live right next to one right here, and they're opening Friday.
Oh, okay.
Friday.
And is it going to be full capacity, or what's the?
I think it's only 25 or 50. I think they said 50% for theaters. 50%.
Oh, okay. So it'll be spread out or whatever.
Yeah.
So a couple seats in between. Hey, that's a good start. It's a good step for sure.
They just opened up restaurants for 25%. I'm waiting for that 50% so we can have it may be something small,
Yeah.
but something to watch or something, and it like the Brightside Tavern or something.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. We took a trip up to the Finger Lakes not too long ago. They're like, there's like no cases. They're like wide open. So that was nice to actually go to a bar and all
Yeah.
that. And, I went with my wife, and I would just like to say, if people are still listening, I love my wife, and I would definitely pay the ransom. Just kidding. And thank you to all your friends and all my friends' wives for the material in the end monologue there.
Yeah.
But no, it was nice to go up to the to the Finger Lakes. Actually, felt normal. You go to a bar and you could go out and eat and all that.
Yeah.
So.
I've been going to White Plains because they're allowed to go in there. So like during the summer,
Oh, okay.
I've been, because you couldn't in New Jersey, you could go outside but not inside. So I've been going to see my cousin at White Plains, and you could go in.
Oh, really? Oh, great.
Yeah. So that was and it was nice and quiet. So it was fun.
It does go back, yeah.
It felt normal. It felt normal.
Right. I know, we're back to normal again. Because there's a couple weeks I had to drive into Manhattan. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Have you been in there yet?
I went in early July, and wow, it was desolate.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple people like exercising, but it was so wild to just see no tourists.
Yeah.
Not one person taking a picture. No one, walking Central Park. It was just an odd
It's
thing.
like-
I mean,
It's like I Am Legend for real.
yeah, really. and there was parking, and yeah, it was like, it was unreal. Yeah. So,
But
hopefully
well,
not
yeah.
too much.
Thanks for joining me for a few minutes, and I'm gonna try to get this up sooner or later. So I'm here with Sabrina Garcia, and you did the film Coming Home.
Yeah, I was the executive producer on the shoot and also the lead actor in the film. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So how did the idea come about for this?
So Coming Home was a really personal story from the director, Daniel Pattison, who's the other executive producer as well. So it was just inspired from really wanting to be an artist and be a creative person and pursue that passion while having to deal with family members who may not approve of you choosing that path in life, and how you navigate that, and the conversations you have with your parents or family who would prefer it if you did something more practical, like be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that.
Where did you film that exactly?
We filmed it in Albuquerque, in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I saw it. I was like, I wonder exactly where that was, kind of.
Yeah, it was the car scenes were filmed in Albuquerque, and then the venue scenes were filmed in a little theater that we rigged up to look like more like a nightclub. Yeah.
And how is it? How is it working in the car like that? Like,
it was really cool. So we really invested in a really professional, amazing crew who work on the big films that go to New Mexico. So they all knew what they were doing. So I just had to kind of sit there and let them do their job. And it was really great. And they were all really supportive and like super professional, but we had like a massive rig like right outside of the window.
Oh.
And then we had our sound and boom hiding in the back seat, getting the sound. So it was cramped, but it was really cool because our crew was just incredible. Like they were just so professional, and we were so happy to have them. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did it take to do that?
We shot over 2 days. So
2 days,
we
wow.
did one day in the car and then the second day at the club. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess they were very long days, right?
Yeah, we wanted to just kind of get it out of the way over a weekend because we did have crew that does work on like the big stuff. We only had a certain amount of time with them, so we just did 2 long days and we got it all done. Yeah.
So how was executive producing it and acting in it as well?
It was really easy. So like I work with my my partner Daniel, and we do everything together. And we also collaborated with our cinematographer, who's Alan Hrynick, who did incredible work. So we all kind of collaborated and did everything together. And we hired We hired a first AD who helped us keep everything organized. So it was just like a big collaboration with a bunch of people. So I wasn't just doing it by myself. We were all doing it together. So yeah.
Oh, wow. And are you from that area, or do you film down there a lot, or you were just?
I'm from Albuquerque, and this will be our third short film that we've done in New Mexico. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is it a lot more films being filmed down there now?
Oh, it's crazy. The film industry is like really booming. NBC Universal and Netflix both have bought studios there.
Oh, wow.
There's another studio in Santa Fe, and so yeah, it's been the past couple years that our governor has lifted the incentive for the tax. It's just been a lot. There's been a lot, so it's been really awesome.
Are you able to film down there right now, or is it still like?
No, not right now. Some of the bigger stuff is in pre-production, and they're trying to come back like starting in September. I know some of my actor friends have gotten some auditions, so they're trying, but it's just kind of touch and go to see how everything goes. New Mexico is a state too where COVID hasn't been as bad, so it's easier to film there because the threat isn't as prevalent as like LA. But it's still very like, I don't know when we're going to be able to film something again. We would like to maybe do something next year, but we'll just see where we're at in terms of the virus. I don't want to put I wouldn't want to put like any risk to any of my friends, like my crew or actors or anything.
Yeah.
To make a film. So it just depends. I'd love to, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I know they started stuff here in New York and New Jersey, but it's weird.
We have like a couple scripts ready to go too, so we're just like, let's start, but we don't, we got to be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Did they make Breaking Bad over there by you? Breaking Bad? Wow. And Saul, I guess Saul, they do that there.
Saul, yeah. Well, Saul is a production that is kind of on hold because they should have been now doing either prep or filming for the last season, but they're not. I don't think they're doing that yet.
Yeah, I know a lot. I know it's Atlanta, but I know a lot of people that are from work on The Walking Dead, and they're all like, "Oh, yeah, we're not doing anything."
Yeah, it's been kind of. I know some people have been auditioning, so I'm not really 100% sure what's going on, but it's been pretty quiet, starting to maybe pick back up, but not really that much. So
yeah. So have you been writing during this time?
I've written one short film, but Daniel mainly does most of the writing for us. And he has been writing a lot, and we have 2 scripts ready to go. So we're just kind of waiting. Yeah, but we've been still like kind of planning and seeing what we can do, and he's been doing some writing during this time. So yeah.
Were you able to see the film? Was it out in some festivals before all this happened? Were you able to go to the theater and see it?
Yeah. So we screened in Albuquerque. I think it was with it in last December. So I actually am in LA. So we screened right before I moved here. And we were able to have it in a theater. So I did get to see it on the big screen, which I'm really thankful for that, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, with this film.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah. No. But has it been in festivals online at all then? Because that had to go online?
Yeah, we just did one out of Atlanta, and then we're doing another screening with a festival in Albuquerque again at the end of the month. But honestly, like we worked so hard on this film, and so given what's going on, like we're just really grateful to participate with some really cool festivals like yourself in any like capacity. So yeah. Well, thank you. We're really grateful, because I've heard about your festival, and it just seems like a really cool, fun place.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun and hang out and all that. It's funny because it's gone all over the place. It's a Jersey Fest, but like I was down in Houston, Texas, and I had a T-shirt on. I was at a con, and I had my like festival T-shirt on. And some random guys comes up to me, is like, "Yeah, I've heard about your festival." I was like, "What?"
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then another guy that we work with, he was out in another con in like St. Louis, and the guy comes up to him and goes, "I'm going to that festival this year."
Oh, cool.
So it's some random moments throughout the country, you know.
Yeah, you guys have a really great reputation. I really tailor. I do most of the marketing and the submissions, so I really tailor my list to festivals that I think would be a good film for or fit for the project, and like just things that I have seen other people like have a good experience with. So, and you guys were on my list, so I was really happy to be able to be with you guys this year.
And we have a lot of strong. We have like women empowerment. I think your film is in that set, or there was a couple. I think there's like two sets of like women empowerment this year because there was so many.
Good.
Strong like women actors or directors. So it was really tough competition,
Oh dang! Well,
Especially
I'm very honored.
on the actress side and the film director side. It was really tough, like really good stuff.
Oh well, that makes me really happy. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you do you have anything you want to promote that people can see any of your stuff or websites or anything like that?
I don't really have anything going on now. Coming home, we're screening with you guys, and then we're screening in Albuquerque on the 25th of September. And then I just was in a film that just premiered with the Dances with Film Virtual Film Festival called Millennium Bugs.
I was watching that. I was watching Dances with Films because two of my students had films in there.
Oh yeah, I heard you talking about that with the previous interview. Yeah, that's really cool.
I really wanted to
screen with them, and the film's called Millennium Bugs by director Alejandro Montoya Marin, and he is just a fantastic director, and I was really honored to work with him. So maybe look out for that film because I have a small role in that. And
was that a feature or short? I thought I did because when you said the name, I saw it as I was scrolling down. I saw it like available there or whatever when they were. I didn't see it.
Yeah, and then I've just been hanging out in LA. One of the things I've been doing is working on like being an actor, focusing on that since now I actually have time. So I've been trying to just try and find rep out here and do stuff like that. But other than that, I'm just hanging. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I wanted to go to LA this summer. I was like really looking forward to it. So
boring and smoky and.
But I thought like it's actually a lot better here in New Jersey now. It's not too bad. So
yeah, like I'm like jealous of New York and New Jersey. You guys are doing a lot better. LA's getting better, but it's still kind of
New York City's a little weird and tough, but the whole state, other than New York City, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. It's weird. We're like really New Jersey, New York. We thought be the worst. We were pretty bad in the beginning though, so it was like no one was leaving anywhere. It was
I lived in New York City for a little while, and what I really noticed about that town, and it's just there's so much, everyone lives so close, so there's like a lot of like sense of community and like togetherness. So I think that's what helped kind of get everybody to stay inside and like curb the virus. So that was really impressive. So I'm jealous. I'm getting ready to I just booked a Zoom film, and I'm getting ready to like shoot it myself in my house with like the director on the computer. I don't even know how it's going to work. So that's going to be interesting. So I'm doing that too. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for giving me a few minutes here, and the film will play Saturday, and then we have afterwards. We have an award show going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.